Hey everybody, I'm back today and I'm here planting trees, my new favorite hobby in the last 2 years. So on today's video, I am planting this little guy right here. So for those of you who don't know, we moved in this place about 2 years ago, and the place was kind of left alone except for some really big, just a few big trees on the property. And this place gets hot. We live in Southern California. I think we're a zone 10A. But this little area that we're in, there's like a small lake a little bit back that way. It's an interesting microclimate. It almost acts as if it's like a 9A. We do get some freezing temperatures out here, which we're not super used to. We came from North Hollywood, which is in the valley in LA. And I think we maybe saw 32 there, like for a couple hours, maybe once or twice when we lived in our old house. So this is an interesting area. But the reason I say that is we need trees like no other. We need shade. With the last 2 years that we've been here, it's really not enjoyable being outside. It's hot. I mean, all you really want, and even on our deck, like off of our house, there's no overhang. There's nothing to shelter you from the sun, where you can just go outside, have like a tea. So our push is to put in as many trees as we can, and try to have some foresight into making it actually look nice. So I've been watching a lot of permaculture videos on water harvesting, putting in your establishing plants that kind of, one, can grow in really harsh conditions so that the next following years you can put in the more delicate trees that you want, i.e. fruit trees. So one of the trees that really stuck out to me was a mulberry tree. And I remember at my elementary school growing up, there was always like mulberry trees for some reason on all the campuses. And the reason I think that is because these trees are super adaptable to like a myriad of conditions. So plus, if you don't get the fruitless ones, then you get these super yummy, because I remember climbing them and eating them. They're the one that I got, well, most of them, they're like a blackberry. You can actually get mulberry jams and preserves in the food stores. So I'm pretty excited about this tree. Plus, it's gonna be, I remember them just being like the perfect climbing tree. Not too high, and then they spread. So like they have these really fun limbs that you can kind of hang on, and they're not super high to where they're super dangerous. Overall, just a tree that I've always wanted. And so I'm standing out here. We have this sycamore here that's currently deciduous. We have a huge rock pile that we eventually want to use, but then we have this open area. It's like the first thing you see when you first drive in. Eventually we want to put a pool up there, but that's not going to be for quite a while probably. There's this huge spot right here that has nothing except for, I put a tiny little fig tree right here, which is going to be kind of on the smaller side. So I want something, just to ground this area, and then I can plant stuff around it. So I love that feeling when you walk into a garden and there's just big structures that you can walk under. It's just, I do like the look of, like an open prairie, just vastness, but I like that feeling of being, like a canopy above me. It makes it, for me, when I walk through a garden, that makes me feel like really at peace. So in my garden, I'm trying to create a lot of canopies to give me that feeling. Also, why we put in a little gazebo. So I like those little structures. I'm kind of like a dog. Like I like feeling encased. So, let's talk about the mulberry tree. So I did go to a local nursery out here, and they had 3 different varieties. They had a super cool one that I almost bought. I've never seen it before. It was like a dwarf variety, but the way that they grew it was a multi-stem. It was like a trio birch situation, and I really wanted it. But if you look on the other side of the sycamore, we actually put a majestic ash there that's going to get super big. So I kind of wanted to mirror that heaviness and that size on this side. So scratch the dwarf varieties. So there was two other ones. There was this one, and then there was an Illinois variety or something like that, which really boasted the fact that it was cold hardy down to like -30, which isn't really what interested me. What that did interest me, this is one that I got, and this is a Morris Alba. It's the Pakistan variety, and it says that it's non-staining, which I'm kind of confused about because I feel like any berry would stain anything and everything. So interesting, I'll have to look that up. But this one is going to get 30 to 40 feet, which is going to be perfect because that ash right there gets like 100 or something. I mean, not, it's going to take a while, especially because this is a bigger root ball that we got. So from a lot of the reading that I've done, the bigger the root ball, the more stunted it is for a while. It's kind of like, ooh, you moved me. Versus if you get a lot of little trees, they're not as perturbed by being moved. So this will probably catch up to that eventually, given like a chunk of years. So, and these are way cheaper. I'm not ever gonna buy a big tree like that again. I think it's a waste of time. But if you want something that's like instant gratification, great, get the big ones. So yeah, so this one's already budding out, as you can see right here. But yeah, these are super awesome. They, like I said, they can tolerate a myriad of different soil conditions. So they're perfect for if you're going to start a landscape and you're interested in trees that'll kind of weather through a lot of the harsh conditions, especially if you have like a raw piece of land. Mulberries are always something that they, this and I think like eucalyptus, a lot of those trees are just like, you know, plant them, water them occasionally, but kind of set it, forget it plants. So super excited for this. Not much going on. It's still kind of a twig, but I guess I can talk about what I plan on doing right here though, which is why I'm putting it here. I did mention that I wanted to balance that over there, but so this is the beginning of our driveway here. And when you first drive in, we're gonna have, there's actually three of the crepe myrtles, the twilight variety. And then I have a purple, it's a wine, shoot, why am I blanking on the name? It's a Merlot redbud. So this is gonna be like beautiful pink flowers in the spring, and then it darkens to like a green maroon, and then in the summer kind of a green. So this little section right here is done. This ash is gonna get huge eventually, which is nice because when you are up there, you do see a lot of our neighbors, which is fine. You know, I'm a good neighbor. But what makes me more happy is if I don't have to see them. So if you're up at a higher vantage point, this canopy, as it gets bigger, is going to shield all that. And that's why I put the crepe myrtles right there too, is to kind of one, mirror. I put some crepe myrtles on this side going all the way up. So it's going to kind of mirror that right here. I didn't want to do a super tree line driveway on both sides because we don't fully know what we want to do with this area right here. Currently, we're using it as parking when people come to visit. So I think that's probably what we're going to end up using this for in the long run. So we'll probably do like a low hedge around here and kind of probably put gravel or something just to make it look nice and polished. Obviously fill in this trench that all the rain created. But yeah, so point of the story, majestic ash here, beautiful sycamore here. And I love how that ivy's growing on that branch right there. But this needs to match this because I'm eventually going to encase this in a hedge as well. And it's right there. So this is our brush pile, forgive us for that. But this is why I chose this little area right there. So it's beautifully cloudy. We had just a little drizzle. So doggies have a vet appointment in an hour and a half. So I'm just gonna pop this one in. Is this exactly where I want to put this? I think so. I counted the steps. I have to build a cage. I forgot my little clippers. Be right back. I'm back. I have to make these for the ground squirrels and the gophers because they will eat anything I put in the ground. Except for rosemary. They don't touch my rosemary. Right. Just throwing in some azalea tone just to give it some of that beneficials, help the roots go off to a good start. Not much going on with the roots. So it's probably still pretty young. Don't need to mess with them. Oh shit. a bunch of water runoff from our hills that go into our culvert right here. And it bothers me so much. Like, I wish we could harness all this water. Because I know when the weather warms up, we're gonna be wishing we had this water again. But I'm gonna try and water my tree in by snatching some of this water. All right. So I'm almost standing center, but I think it's gonna look really good. So sycamore is here, majestic ash, kind of the distance from the driveway. And then scroll over to here. It's the little one with the yellow tag right there, distance to the driveway. I measured it to be 20-foot lengths. It's very accurate. And for those of you who noticed, I did pull out the stake that it came with. This tree structure is pretty steady. And when you have small trees like this that can stand up on their own like this, it's better for them to start getting used to that, because that wobble, it's just like working out. You rip fibers in your muscles, they rip fibers in their roots to become really, really strong. So if your tree can support itself like this, especially when it doesn't have leaves on it, it's much better to take that stake out now and let it get strong. If, let's say you waited a few months and this had leaves and the canopy is really heavy and it keeps toppling over, take the stake out that comes in the root ball, because that's not really doing anything. It's gonna tip with the root anyway. What you wanna do is, so this comes like right in the root ball. So take this out, fill in the little hole that it makes, and put it on the outside of the root ball. You can do two. If you've seen a lot of shopping malls that they just redo with new plantings, they always put it on the outside of the root ball, because this is now letting the root ball kind of do its thing. If you can just do one, that's great, especially if the wind is coming from this way. Put the stake on the side that it's coming from. So when your tree blows this way, the stake will kind of give it a little hold. Also, don't stick them super tight. Let them have that wiggle room, because again, you're trying to strengthen the root ball by making tiny fiber breaks in there. What just fell? Oh, my mulch is settling. So that's why I took this out. So that's it. I'm going to go to the vet. Doggies have allergy shot appointments. Since moving out here, all this wildlife, plant life and everything, flora and fauna, is really getting to them. They're Frenchies, so they're a sensitive soul, both of them. So, all right, that was my one little project, you guys, and I will try to post a little bit more frequently. We've just been dealing with that landslide and everything, so we got a little behind. But now that spring's here, I'm excited to tell you kind of our new chore list. So I'll go over that in the next video. But until then, take care. Enjoy the springtime weather for those of you who are having it. For those of you in the cold, bundle up. I guess spring is coming for you too. So see you later. Bye.